We are following the lower court's decision. You have to award this man back pay. You have to give him his compensatory damages, and you have to make him whole.
Thank you.
We're talking, I'm not going to tell you the exact dollar amount, but it's well in the millions. When we talk about back pay, the difference in the promotion and everything. The bottom line is what I want to say here is that this Congressional Disclosure Protection Act that Congressman Wynn, that our No Fear Committee, that we worked so hard, Dr. Marshall Coleman out of Bio, all of our No Fear Coalition members, I'm the co-chair of this committee, we worked very hard to make this thing happen. And I want to thank those in Blacks in Government, those in Redstone Urban Minority Employees Association, the USDA Employees Association, all of the organizations around the country that has pulled together with us, that has supported us in this argument. I want to give special thanks to Congressman the Honorable Sheila Jackson Lee for her just staunch support of this bill. And all the lawyers and attorneys, those who have come out of their cubby holes and have gathered with us and said, we're not going to be afraid to stand up. Ladies and gentlemen, when you're working for the U.S. Department of Justice, this is the supreme organization in the world supposed to be for law enforcement issues. And when there's racism in the Justice Department, racism in law enforcement, to the point where my colleagues left me on a stakeout to die, then imagine what they're doing to your children and your daughters and your sons out there on the street. If I, myself, wearing a badge and a gun, got to be concerned about working next to a bigot with a badge working next to me. And it's cases like this that we say that this law here is so important to tell America enough is enough. And so on this day with Martin Luther King, when we celebrate a man who gave his life in this country that all of us might have rights to freedoms, we celebrate his life with this bill, and we say to Congress, you need to pass this bill. So if anyone has a question for me, I just want to say to you that I've been able to prevail on this case, and I just thank God for it.
Praise the Lord. When I said that you're reaping the promise God made to you.
That's right. All right. The house.
You're going to take back what the devil took from you
That's
now. And we just can't wait
Yes.
until I hear how much. Everybody in this coalition around the country going to say, praise the Lord, thank God for Alwyn, and thank God for what he's going to do for me. But I take back what the devil took from me. Now, come here, darling.
Hi, my name is Renee Berry, and I work at the Patent and Trademark Office along with Vince Robinson, and I see another colleague of mine, Jonas Strickland, in the back, and Ms. Michelle Payton, who retired from the Patent and Commerce Office, and she's now the regional president of Blacks in Government. So I come to you briefly to tell you my experience with the Patent and Trademark Office. At first, I must say, I give honor to God and all the fine people that I received. I hate to have to come behind Matthew Foe. He's dynamic speaker. Thank you, Congressman Wynn, for introducing this bill, and thank you, Congressman Francois, for introducing me. And I especially want to thank and honor Martin Luther King, because I'm the granddaughter of sharecroppers. My parents came here from the segregated South, seeking a better life in Washington, D.C. They attended Howard University, and they raised 5 children. They sent their children to Howard University in the District of Columbia. Their children earned degrees in chemistry, biology, mechanical engineering, journalism, and law. My brother and I went to the Patent and Trademark Office, living the dream. Here we are, educated Black Americans, and the Patent Office sent me to law school, paying both tuition and books. So it looks like a cushy ride until my patents were held up, as Benson said, and I examined patents for IBM, Texas Instruments, Micron, Applied Materials, looking at semiconductor intricate circuitry work. And for some unknown reason, they began to hold my patents and say they weren't allowable. I was terminated in 2006. And soon as I was terminated, all of those patents were released under the name of white and Asian examiners. So my attorney fought and got my job back for me in just 7 months. And again, I faced the same type of retaliation.
Wow.
And I reported this to Congress, and I testified at the No Fear Tribunal hearing back in May of '07. And in 3 months after that, the office proposed to remove me again. And they carried this out. I wrote Congressman Van Hollen and Eleanor Holmes Norton and Senator Mikulski, and I told them they had blacklists where they target us. And they hold our work, and we can't get production, which is required. You have to be able to get your production. And as soon as we leave or go out on sick leave, our work is released under a different examiner. Now, this has to stop.
That's right.
It does cost the taxpayers a lot of money. My brother also was terminated, and he had to be brought back and paid 2.5 years of salary and things like you received, Matthew. And it's a tragedy that we as Black Americans can't work and for the government without fear of reprisal and harassment. It is an absolute tragedy. At this day, after going through sharecropping and after going through Jim Crowism, we still face this kind of treatment in the government. So again, I thank you, Congressman Wynn, for all your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me apologize to Congressman Wynn and to all of you for being rather giddy this morning about what you're doing. And it's because I've seen so much of the pain in this city and in this country that this bill will address. And I just wanted to ask if Jonas Strickland would just step here a minute, because someone referenced the fact that they really stick it to you publicly in a way that is as humiliating as being forced to drink water from separate fountains, sitting in the back of the bus. Jonas, would you just say a word about your experience, and then we'll go before I get mad? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's got to go, but the reporter's going to tell the whole world.
All right. Hey, I want to publicly thank Reverend Fontroy,
Right.
because he is the one who pulled my coat and said, this issue you need to look at. And so I want to publicly thank you for bringing me in. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can I ask one question? Do you have a timeline of when you think this bill will have action taken on?
As I indicated, I've talked to Congressman Conyers, and what I'd like to do is sit with the leadership, Ms. Pelosi, and the chairman of the government operations, Mr. Waxman, so we can all get on the same page and develop a game plan to move this through. I want this bill to be passed before this Congress ends. That's my I can't say that I can do it, but that's what I'm going to push towards to get that job done.
And may I thank this brilliant news lady for raising that question. You got any other questions?
Thank you. Thank you. You guys have done a great job.
Good morning. I want to thank Congressman Wynn, Reverend Fontroy, Dr. Adebayo, Mr. Matthew Fall for all the work that No Fear is doing for all the people of the U.S. Government agencies across the city. I worked also with Benton Robinson and Renee Berry at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. I was somebody who experienced retaliation. I was arrested on the job and brought out of handcuffs, and went to court in Virginia, and the judge dismissed the case. So I'm a witness of all these, because I never had any criminal charges, never brought up against me during the time. So I understand totally that this is a problem that we are facing at the Patent and Trademark Office. We thank you for all your support and continue to press and fight.